Welcome to Mikam Israel. In Parashat Emor, the Midrash Rabbah says something astonishing. Hashem Yibarach showed Moshe Rabbeinu the leaders of every generation to come. The Gedolim, the Chachamim, the Dayanim, the Magidim, the Kohanim, and the kings. And there Moshe saw that Shaul HaMelech would one day be killed. He turned to Borei Olam and asked, is that fair? That the very first king of Am Yisrael should fall by the sword? And Borei Olam answered him, you're asking me? Tell it to the Kohanim of Nov who were wiped out by Shaul. Rabbi Yaakov Galinsky asked the obvious question, why did Moshe need to see all of this? Every single person, the scholars we understand. But every ganab and shakran spanning the generations, what was the purpose? Because we tend to forget a simple truth. The Gedolim of every generation reflect the people of that very generation. You've heard people say many a times, where are the Gedolim like we used to have? Where's the Chafetz Chaim, the Vilna Gaon? But the people who lived under the Chafetz Chaim said the same thing about the leaders before them. And they said the very same thing about the Ramban. And the Ramban's generation said it about the Gaonim. Because the truth is, it's not the leaders that are smaller. It's that we are. Had the Vilna Gaon been born into this generation, with its distractions, technology, and confusion, would he have become the Vilna Gaon? Would he have reached the same magnificent level? Our Gedolim are born into a different world, one with impurity, temptation, pressure, and distraction. And still, they rise. Still, they carry us. Kudsha Baruch Hu wanted Moshe to see the lowest people of each generation, so he would understand the greatness of the leaders that would come from within them. So he wouldn't compare Rav Moshe Feinstein to the Chafetz Chaim or the Chazon Ish to the Vilna Gaon. Each generation gets leaders perfectly measured to their times. That's what Moshe needed to see, and then truthfully, so do we. It's one thing to speak of this idea, it's another to see it in action. Not in a fiery dirasha, not a massive asifa, but in a quiet hospital room. In a moment so gentle, so exact, that it reveals what true greatness looks like today. Let me tell you a story about Rav Elyashiv. Rabbi Yosef Shalom Elyashiv Zatzal, the Posek Hador, learned 18 hours a day well into his 90s. He didn't chase honor, nor did he speak often. His entire life was Torah, pure, sharp, and unwavering, but at 93 his health failed. The surgery was needed, but the doctor said it can't be carried out without a 90% chance of death. Rabbi Elyashiv declined. He accepted the Gezerah Shemayim. But Reb Zalman Lev, sober of Muncie, wouldn't give up. He found a doctor in America with a different radical approach, and the doctor said he could survive. He flew to Eretz Yisrael to present the case. Reb Elyashiv agreed to meet him, but not to discuss the surgical technicalities. Instead, the Rav said, frail and soft-spoken, looked at him, I understand that I might not wake up from the surgery, but I want you to know if I don't make it, I don't want you to feel guilty. The doctor was stunned. Then Reb Elyashiv added, and one more thing, if I don't wake up, I won't be able to thank you. So I'm thanking you now for trying to save my life. A man minutes from surgery, and Reb Elyashiv is thinking about the feelings of the surgeon. Baruch Hashem, the surgery was successful, and he went on to live another 10 years. Not long after, Reb Zalman brought his son to the Rav and asked for a beracha, and the Rav placed one hand on the boy's head when Reb Zalman asked gently, Rebbe, the last time you gave him a beracha with both hands, could you please do that again? Reb Elyashiv smiled and he shook his head. I hold like the Gra. Only Kohanim give berachot with two hands. Then Reb Zalman says, but you gave him beracha last time with both hands. Reb Elyashiv nodded. I remember. Your wife was in the corner trying to take a picture, and a beracha with two hands makes for a much nicer picture. Then he added, every time the doctors called late at night, it was she that answered the phone. Only after did she wake you, and out of hakarat tov for her kindness, I gave your son that particular two-handed beracha. Reb Elyashiv, one of the greatest sages of our time, had over 1,000 descendants, but never, not once, did he place both hands on any of their heads for a beracha. Never, until this particular boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we hear it all the time. Where are the Gedolim like we used to have? But Borei Olam doesn't copy and paste Kedusha from one century to the next. He custom builds it to match the generation it's meant to carry. And if we don't see giants like we used to, maybe it's not because the giants are smaller. Maybe it's because we've forgotten what real greatness looks like. It doesn't always stand at the front of a room. Sometimes it's sitting quietly in a hospital gown, moments before a risky surgery, thinking only about a doctor's feelings. It doesn't need headlines. It needs hakarat hatov, so deep, so exact, that one mother's kindness earns her child a beracha that not even Rav Elyashiv's own grandchildren ever received. That's not weakness. That's not decline. That's strength. Tailored to a generation drowning in noise and starving for sincerity. When Moshe Rabbeinu saw the leaders of every era, he didn't see carbon copies of himself. He saw truth in every shape. He saw courage in every form. He saw that in each generation, no matter how far, no matter how broken, Borei Olam never stopped sending shepherds. So the question is not, where are the Gedolim? The question is, do we still know how to recognize one when he walks right past us? Mika Amchi Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom and Mivorach.